What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. So, Jerome Powell and the Fed, the head of the Fed, Jerome Powell, have major announcements coming. I'm going to show you guys in this video. Clashing with President Donald Trump. I'm going to show you guys in this video what is happening right now and what is going to be happening in the future that will affect your money and your wallet. And a lot of people are not happy with what is going on here. I'm going to show you guys how this is affecting the entire economy and the nation's budget, and how this is affecting exactly what is happening in your home and how this is costing you thousands of dollars because of what the Fed is doing. So let's jump right in. We are live right now here on YouTube. Let me know if you can see and hear me. Type yes in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. You can let me know your city, state, or even your country, as we have people tuning in here from all around the globe. Also, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so you don't miss out on new videos. All right, take a look at this. Okay, so the inflation rate is actually climbing now again since the first time this summer, and actually one of the first times that inflation is climbing here. And the Fed weighs a major decision here going forward. The PCE index moves away from the Fed's 2% inflation goal. But as you can see here, high interest rates could push the Fed chief Jerome Powell into a clash with President Donald Trump. Take a look at what Jerome Powell, the head of the Fed, said back in mid-November here.
With labor market conditions in rough balance and inflation expectations well anchored, I expect inflation to continue to come down toward our 2% objective, albeit on a sometimes bumpy path. Given progress toward our inflation goal and the cooling of labor market conditions, last week my Federal Open Market Committee colleagues and I took another step in reducing the degree of policy restraint by lowering our policy interest rate by a 1/4 percentage point. We're confident that with an appropriate recalibration of our policy stance, strength in the economy and the labor market can be maintained, with inflation moving sustainably down to 2%.
Now, since then, inflation has started moving back up, which is not what anybody wants. And especially not President Donald Trump, as he's ready to come back into the White House. As you can see here, why Trump and the Federal Reserve could clash in the coming years. Who wants to see inflation going up and interest rates barely coming down one tick at a time? And as you can see here, Trump himself nominated Jerome Powell to lead the Fed in his first term, and then Biden kept him on. Trump repeatedly and publicly ridiculed Jerome Powell, the Fed, complaining that it kept interest rates too high. Trump's attacks on the Fed raised widespread concern about political interference in the Fed's policy making. Now the concern is that the Fed is cutting rates too slow, with credit card interest rates still near all-time highs. Credit cards are barely cutting interest rates. Auto loans still extremely high. Mortgage rates still extremely high. They were over 8%. Now still over 7%, and people paying thousands and thousands of dollars more than they were just a year or two ago for almost everything. And the government paying almost $1 trillion per year on the national debt. So President Donald Trump's going to come back into the presidency, going to pay almost $4 trillion a year on the national debt for 4 years, and the national defense is almost $1 trillion a year for 4 years. Remember, they pay more for the defense of our country every year. So over 4 years, that's going to be almost $4 trillion. So between the defense of our country and the national debt, that's going to be almost $8 trillion over 4 years, just for those two things. And remember, the new DOGE Department of Government Efficiency, they want to cut $2 trillion. Where are the cuts going to come from? You guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments, because they're going to have to come from somewhere. And if you've seen my previous video, They're talking about potential cuts to Medicaid, maybe SNAP benefits, and who knows where they're going to come from. I'll link you to that video here at the end of this video. But job report shows high surge as Fed weighs interest rate cut. Fresh data marks the first report since the election of Trump. Payrolls increased 227,000 for the November report, more than expected. But the unemployment rate goes up, edged higher to 4.2%. With the economy shaky, it's unclear what the Fed will do. They may lower interest rates again, but will they continue to do so, and for how long? Because Jerome Powell says a strong U.S. economy is letting the Fed be cautious about cutting rates. And they're complaining, a lot of people are complaining that the Fed is cutting rates too slowly and it's not making enough impact in people's wallets. Credit card interest rates are extremely high. Mortgage rates are still too high. Car loans and personal loans are too high. Government debt interest rates are too high. And everybody is paying too high of interest rates. And yet, Jerome Powell says that he won't resign and that Donald Trump can't fire him. Take a listen.
Some of the president-elect's advisors have suggested that you should resign. If he asked you to leave, would you go?
No.
Can you follow up on, do you think that legally you're not required to leave?
No.
Do you believe that the president has the power to fire or demote you, and has the Fed determined the legality of a president demoting at will any of the other governors with leadership positions?
Not permitted under the law.
So there you go. We have a really shaky economy where, on any given week, we're seeing mixed data. We're seeing interest rates come down slowly, and things really aren't looking that great. I mean, when you have, stories like this, the United CEO of healthcare, gets offed because, they literally deny 32% of their claims, the worst in the industry, and people take into their, matters into their own hands because of healthcare premiums being unaffordable and being denied because their claims are just unaffordable, right? I mean, when this is your legacy, when this is how bad things have gotten for people, you got to kind of wonder how our economy actually is for the average common person when you're paying so much for healthcare and 1/3 of claims are being denied. It's absolutely wild. It's absolutely just distraught out there for the average common everyday person. How can people continue to go on like this? And then healthcare wants to raise premiums by 20% every single year. And then so do colleges. So do colleges want to raise the cost of college by 20% every single year. And if you don't go to college, you got to start your own business or get a job that requires no college degree, which, you basically have to start your own business or, job with no college degree. Those jobs probably aren't paying that well. College is wild. The prices they're charging for college. And what do? Do you get government to regulate it? Because when government regulates stuff, is it any better? Does government do anything, regulate anything well? This is the state of America right now. And I gotta say, it hasn't been great. It hasn't been great for as long as I can remember. So let me know your thoughts on this, guys. How do we fix this? How do we fix this? So is Elon Musk and Trump the answer? Because we'll see. We'll see. But I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in government right now. And I don't know if I ever really have. Do you trust the government? You know, there's that old saying, I'm here from the government and I'm here to help. Has that ever worked for anybody? Yeah. So let me know your thoughts. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on a daily basis. Don't forget to like this video, share this video with anybody that needs to hear this information. Subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. It's completely free to do, which is the best price. Yeah. So click here to see Trump's new plans for SNAP benefits, which is likely to include cuts, or click here to see Trump's plan to boost Social Security benefits.